Hi everyone, welcome to another Yarn Scrap Friday with me, Laura, and in this video I'm going to be showing you some stitch tutorials, and I'm actually going to be showing you the difference between the bubble stitch, the popcorn stitch and the puff stitch. So they're very slightly different, okay? Okay, so for this tutorial I'm going to start off with the bubble stitch, which is this one here. I think out of the three it's kind of the medium-sized bubble. The popcorn stitch is probably the biggest bubble and the puff stitch is probably the slightly flatter bubble. So we're going to start off with the bubble stitch, and to make the bubble stitch I'm going to unravel this to begin with. Okay, so I've just worked some normal double crochet stitches at the beginning. I've just done some normal double crochet stitches at the beginnings. This pattern's in US terminology, and I think it's quite nice spacing out your puff stitches and popcorn stitches with double crochets in between to make them show up more, but it depends on your pattern and depends on your preference. But for the bubble stitch, always working with double crochets pretty much for these stitches. So if you're good at the double crochet, then you should be able to do this. So we yarn over, we go into the next stitch, we bring the yarn through, then we yarn over, pull through two, as if doing a normal double crochet, but we stop there and we're going to repeat that. So we need to do that 5 times, so we're going to do that 4 more times. So we yarn over, go into the same stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So that's our second one, stop there, yarn over to the same stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That's our third one. The next one, yarn over into the same stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. And then one more, our fifth one, yarn over, same stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. So we've done that 5 times. You can tell how many times you've done it because you have how many times you've done it plus the loop on your hook at the beginning, so we end up with 6 loops. Then all we do is we yarn over, pull through all 6 loops to do our bubble stitch. Now some people suggest doing a little chain one at the end to secure, but I don't recommend that if you're working in rows because it can mess up your stitch count. So we're going to stop there, it's fine to stop there, and that is our bubble stitch. Okay, so I'll show you that again. I'll do a couple of stitches in between. Let's do some 3 double crochets in between. So these are just normal double crochets. I'm just doing this to space out our bubble stitches. Okay, right, so let's do another bubble. So what we do is we yarn over, go into the next stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, stop. Do that 5 times, that's our first time. So we yarn over to the same stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, not 3. Stop there. Next one, yarn over to the same stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Next one, fourth one, yarn over, same stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. And then one more, fifth one, yarn over, same stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, I can tell I've done 5, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus the loop I started with. Then we yarn over, pull through all 6 loops, and there is our bubble stitch. Okay, so we've got another bubble stitch, like so. I'll do some stitches in between. Let's do 3 double crochets. You might want to just push out your bubbles. So I'll show you one more time the bubble stitch. You go into the stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, into the stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, always remember to yarn over at the beginning, into the stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, into the stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. I need to do one more, yarn over, into the stitch, bring the yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2. Got 6 loops, yarn over, pull through all 6 loops, and there is our bubble stitch. Okay, so just do a normal double crochets in the next few stitches, just so you can see. I'll just double crochet to the end. So there we go. So there is the bubble stitch. So that's how you do the bubble stitch. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the popcorn stitch. So I'm just going to do another row of just normal double crochets, and so you can see clearly what I'm doing. Okay, so I've just worked a normal row of double crochet, so you can see the bubble stitches more clearly. But now we're going to move on to the popcorn stitch, which is one of my favourites. This popcorn stitch is even more puffier, it stands out even more. So to do the popcorn stitch, what we do is we yarn over and we work 5 double crochets all into the same stitch. You basically just do 5 double crochets to begin with, all in the same stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, so they're all in the same stitch, 5. Okay, so I've worked 5 double crochets all into the same stitch. Okay, I've got 5 double crochets in there. Then what you do is you bring up your loop, take your hook out, you find your first double crochet that you did, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put your hook into there. Put your hook into there, then put your hook into the loop you're working with and just bring that down, and then you bring that loop through, loop falling off, you bring that through the first double crochet stitch, and that is your popcorn stitch. And then you just carry on as normal. I don't do a chain one after because it messes up your stitch count when working in rows, so I just go straight into the next stitch after that. So I'm going to do 3 double crochets in between and show you again. I've actually done a popcorn stitch flower in a granny square tutorial, so if you want to check out my channel, I'll put a link to that in the description. So making a little flower out of these popcorn stitches. But I'll show you again. All you do is you work 5 double crochets into the same stitch to begin. So 1, all in the same stitch, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then you bring up a little loop, take your hook out. So you've done 5 double crochets all in the same stitch. Then find your first one that you did. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need to find that first one you did. Put your hook into that stitch. Put your hook into the loop you're working with. Just bring that down. And then bring that loop through the first double crochet stitch. Like so. And there is your popcorn stitch. And go straight into your next stitch. So it's quite easy, just that there's often a lot of confusion between the stitches because people tend to always call them puff stitches or puffy stitches, but the actual puff stitch is different again. So I'll show you one more time the popcorn stitch. So we do 5 double crochets all in the same stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring up the loop. So I've got 5 double crochets all in the same stitch. Put our hook into our first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then put our hook into the loop we're working with, just bring that down, and then bring that through that first stitch. And there's your popcorn stitch. So there we go. So I've shown you so far the bubble stitch and now the popcorn stitch. So I'm just going to work some double crochets to the end and then a normal row of double crochets, and the stitch count should be the same because I haven't added any chain ones or anything. And then I'll come back and show you the puff stitch. Okay, so I just worked another row of just normal double crochets, and now I'm going to show you how to do the puff stitch. Okay, so for the puff stitch, what we do is we yarn over, go into the stitch and bring the yarn through. And we stop there, and we do that 5 times, so that's the first time. So yarn over, into the same stitch, bring the yarn through, then stop. Third time, yarn over, into the stitch, bring the yarn through. Fourth time, yarn over, into the stitch, bring the yarn through. And then once more, yarn over, to the same stitch, bring the yarn through. So you end up with a big clump of loops like that. You may wish to bring up the loop a little bit more, but then we just yarn over and bring our yarn over through all those loops, and that creates the puff stitch. So it's a rather elongated stitch. Okay, so I'll show you that again. I'm just going to go straight into the next stitch, do some normal double crochets, just like I did before. That should secure that into place. So I'll do 3 in between. I'm only doing this for example. You may choose to do more double crochets in between. You may, depends on the pattern you're using. It's entirely up to you. You may even wish to do them right next to each other. Okay, so to show you another puff stitch, we yarn over, go into the stitch, bring the yarn through, bring it up slightly if you want to. We do that 5 times. That's 1, yarn over, into the stitch, bring the yarn through. Yarn over, into the stitch, bring the yarn through. 4th time, yarn over, into the stitch, bring the yarn through. Then once more, yarn over, into the stitch, bring the yarn through. Then we yarn over, pull through all loops, and there's our little puff stitch. Okay. I'll show you one more time. Just do some normal double crochets in between. 2 and 3. Okay, so I'll show you one more puff stitch. You yarn over, into the stitch, bring the yarn through. 1. Yarn over, into the stitch, bring the yarn through. 2. Yarn over, into the stitch, bring the yarn through. 3. Yarn over, into the stitch, bring the yarn through. 4. Yarn over, into the stitch, bring the yarn through. 5. Yarn over, pull through all loops your way through. So there we go, there's our puff stitch. And then you just carry on with your pattern. So there we go, I've shown you 3 different ways of creating a 3D effect. With the first one was the bobble stitch. This is the bobble stitch, okay? And to do that one, we yarned over, went into the stitch, bring the yarn through, then we pulled through 2, then we stopped and repeated that. And that's the bobble stitch. Then we did the popcorn stitch, which was the 5 double crochets. Then we put our hook into the first double crochet, brought the loop through. And then we finished up with the puff stitch. And that was basically just yarn over, into the stitch, bring the yarn through. But no pulling through 2, we just went straight in, yarn over, in, pull through, yarn over, in, pull through, 5 times. And that creates the puff stitch. So you've got the bobble, the popcorn, and the puff stitch. And I hope that has demystified these stitches a little bit for you, and I hope they've inspired you to create some different effects with your projects. And I will see you soon, some more crochet fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.